Honestly, I would rather watch Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg fight.
If news of a no-knockdown boxing exhibition between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou is true, former UFC heavyweight Brendan Schaub doesn't want to watch it. Schaub thinks a boxing exhibition between the two big boys of the fight game would be a fake fight. And if that's what the Cameroonian wanted, he should have stayed in the UFC.
So,
and I think Eddie Hearn's the one that
what's
said
the
it.
point?
Exactly.
So there's no knockouts, there's no
No knockdowns,
real
yeah.
fighting.
So
that's the worst thing they could do.
Yeah.
That'd be an awful mistake for Francis, man. When you leave the UFC thinking you get this big fight, like, we'll do it, but you can actually hit each other.
That's what we want to see.
They'd be better off doing the WWE. Like,
Yeah.
you get more eyeballs. That fan base knows the deal. They train for it. They look good. You get that WWE fan base. Doing a fake boxing match, it's going to turn all fight fans off.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's what Dana White calls gimmick fights, but would the UFC president keep the same energy if Conor McGregor ends up fighting Jake Paul? In a recent interview, Jake Paul said that he wants Conor McGregor to have a red panty night after the celebrity boxer is done with Nate Diaz. Paul is scheduled to face the Stockton native in a boxing match in August, and he's pretty confident that he will win by a knockout. Once he's done with Diaz, Jake would like to sleep McGregor in a boxing ring. Quote, "When I knock out Nate Diaz, I think that Conor McGregor's going to see me, want a payday, and come and get knocked out." McGregor's fond of boxing as well, so he might be interested in Paul. But the YouTube sensation wouldn't mind fighting him in a cage either because he has a background in wrestling after all. Quote, "We can fight in the PFL smart cage, whatever it is. I told everybody I would fight Conor in any form of fight because in my opinion, he is that shot. I'll do MMA, I'm not afraid. I've wanted to do that my whole career. I have a wrestling background. All I'd have to learn is some jiu-jitsu and some kicks, which seems pretty easy to me." In other news, Henry Cejudo tried to roast Conor McGregor but was brutally trolled instead. Before we find out more, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on your notifications. Thank you. Henry Cejudo loves poking the bear every now and then, and in a recent tweet, he tried to roast McGregor, but his antics backfired. Here's what Cejudo tweeted, quote, "Hey Conor McGregor, I hope you win your upcoming court case. It'll be the first win you get this decade." Cejudo's manager, Ali Abdulaziz, couldn't control his laughter. But wait, how many wins does Henry Cejudo have this decade? None, one Twitter user pointed out. "Henry, he has as many wins this decade as you." To make matters more interesting, one fan pointed out that Cejudo's last victory inside the octagon was in the same year as McGregor's victory over Donald Cerrone in 2020. "Your last win was the same year as his." Another Twitter user compared the bank accounts of the two fighters, saying, "You and Conor have accomplished similar goals, but one's broke, and one's almost a billionaire." While it's true that McGregor has had his troubles in and out of the cage during the past few years, he's still your favorite celebrity's favorite celebrity. Recently, multiple-time snooker world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan was asked about his favorite sports personality outside of snooker, and this is what he had to say.
Favorite sports star outside snooker?
Oh, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Outside snooker. There's so many fantastic sportsmen. I think I quite like. I'm really.
Do you like winners, or you
I
just
love
like, or
winners,
do you
yeah.
admire talent?
I love winners. I'm like you. I like
Yeah.
a winner because it's hard. It's not easy to be a winner. People think it is, but it's not. So you always respect winners. I love Michael Jordan. Thought he was amazing. Watched that Netflix documentary. But at the moment, and I know he's not like the best at what he's ever done, but Conor McGregor.
Dillon Danis recently surprised everyone in the MMA community after he posted a video of him training with former UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira. Danis, who's often regarded as Conor McGregor's sidekick, showed off his wrestling and grappling skills by taking Pereira down and putting him in uncomfortable positions. Pereira last fought at UFC 287, where he was knocked out by Israel Adesanya in the second round of their middleweight title fight. He has since moved up to light heavyweight and will face former champion Jan Blachowicz in a potential title eliminator. After watching Pereira roll on the mats with Danis, MMA fans think he'll be a walk in the park for Blachowicz, who has great grappling credentials. The lack of wrestling and grappling is very concerning. A lot of guys at light heavyweight are going to have their way with Pereira. Don't forget that he had one of the easiest title paths in UFC history. His could have easily been derailed. This guy's going to get mauled at light heavyweight. It doesn't even have to be the top guys. Guys like Iwan Chochilaba, Nikita Krylov, Paul Craig, and Anthony Smith will all smoke him, let alone guys like Alexander Rakic or Magomed Ankalaev. Can Alex Pereira hold his own against the superior grappler in Blachowicz? Vitor the Phenom Belfort knows who he'd back in a potential cage fight between tech moguls Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. The fight, which in reality may never happen, has people in the fight game hooked. For instance, Dana White will book a fight between the two in a heartbeat. George St. Pierre and John Jones have offered to train Musk and Zuckerberg, respectively. And you guys already heard what Brandon Schaub said earlier, that he'd rather watch Musk versus Zuckerberg than a boxing exhibition between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. Vitor Belfort has jumped in the conversation as well, revealing who'd he'd support if the two billionaires ever fought.
Nessa luta, eu creio que já me coloquei lá também pronto para ajudar o George St. Pierre, se ele quiser, ajudar as mãos do Elon Musk. Eu fico com o Elon Musk nessa, porque ele apoia, acho que a agenda mais conservadora, né? Então acho que esse é meu lado, vocês me conhecem. É óbvio, o Mark Zuckerberg já tem uma história, já dá para ver nos vídeos ali que ele já tem um jiu-jitsu, mas eu acho que o homem é testado no fogo. Quando ele leva soco, quando ele leva chute, joelhada, eu acho que ali ele é testado. Então acho que os dois podem surpreender, mas a minha torcida vai para o Twitter, com certeza.
Despite the Meta co-founder's experience in martial arts, particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Musk is favored to win a potential fight against him, according to a YouGov survey. Is it time for Kevin Lee to start seeing the holes in his own game? In an interview prior to his fight at UFC Vegas 76, where he unfortunately lost by first-round submission, Lee was asked about the time when he saw the holes in Khabib Nurmagomedov's game. What were the holes that he saw?
I thought that his body was open. I thought that he stood very square. I thought that, that pressure forward style and kind of take it on the chin doesn't lend well to shots to the body. And it would have opened up eventually for a head kick or some type of kicks to the head.
Prior to that, Lee had slammed the UFC for still hosting events at the UFC Apex instead of holding fight nights in front of bigger crowds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I wish it was. I wish it was in front of more fans. I don't know how many people are gonna be at Apex, but it's kind of stupid. I don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? The pandemic over.
Khabib's coach, Javier Mendez, believes Lee needs to focus on himself if he wants to achieve big things in MMA. High time he starts fixing the holes in his game.
For me, it's like some of the warning signs for me when Kevin was talking about, hey, I'm not, I'm beyond these little, shows at the Apex. He kind of like, his attitude was like, I'm past this. And to me, it's like your focus should have been on winning on your opponent. And other comments were like on Khabib, I saw holes in his game. And
I saw that too. I was going to bring that up.
And I'm just like, dude, you should be focused more on your fight and forget anybody else.
Do you agree with Javier Mendez? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.